Black folks have been tied ever since we came across the tides that brought us here. Tired. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. Attributed to Fannie Lou Hamer, a sharecropper from Mississippi, who understood what it meant to do the mundane, everyday work of caring for your family, caring for fields, caring for community, and fighting for justice. So when she said she was sick and tired of being sick and tired, she understood it physically, emotionally, mentally, literally. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. I think of the introduction to B.B. King's song with Katie Webster, Since I Met You, Baby. And B.B. says, Katie, how you doing? And Katie says, B.B., I'm tired. I'm T-I-D-E, tired. Just in case some people didn't understand how tired. You know, there are levels of tired. She's tired. And when somebody tells you they're tired, T-I-D-E, tired, they gotta spell it out for you. There is a history of my being tired, BB. I am tired, T-I-D-E. Don't even have time to put the D on the E. The R, spell it. And it's no wonder to me that certainly Black women will be tired when we think of the words of Zora Neale Hurston, who says Black women are the mule of the world. Mules carry the weight for everybody else. You pack a mule with the burden that you don't want to carry. You put on the mule and the mule works. Black women are the mule of the world. So this idea that we have been experiencing over the past year of a Black woman just getting some rest. Don't do the work, get your rest. It's very interesting to me because you juxtapose that with this idea of freedom being a constant struggle and one must always do that work. It's the song of Bernice Johnson Reagan, Ella's song, when she says, we who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. So it makes me think about the idea that there are a few types of rest and a few types of tiredness that maybe we need to parse out and to discern. Because yes, it's true that Black women need to get our rest, but it's also true that there's some work that has to always be continued, even when you're sick and tired. And I've discovered what it comes down to is this idea of discerning whose work are you doing? That's good. Sometimes we're tired because we're doing other people's work. And so yes, Black women do need to take some days, some weeks, some years of rest of doing other people's work. But the work that is ours to do, what do we need to have in order to rejuvenate us? To continue on in the spirit of a Fannie Lou Hamer who says, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired, but I'm still here and I'm still doing my work. How do we begin to think about that? How do we begin to process that? What does that look like? And I think the core of it is understanding that freedom is a journey, struggle is a journey, and this idea of spirituality and maintenance go hand in hand with that. That if there's something you love, you have to maintain. There is some work behind that. You can't say you love me in relationship and you're not willing to do the work of relationship. You can't say that you love me in an organizational way, Examine Noble, and not do the work. Oops, move your toes. Examine Noble. You can't say that you love being a part of democracy and you're not willing to do the work to fight for it, even though you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. If Fannie Lou Hamer could do it, what the hell do you think about us? What excuse do we have? I'm too tired to do the work of justice today. I'm too tired to work on maintaining the struggle for freedom today. I'm going to take a rest. I'm going to take a nap. What did they tell Dorothy and Toto and the lion? Don't go to sleep in the poppy fields. And some of us, I believe, are finding ourselves asleep in the poppy fields when life is calling us to do the work, even though we're tired. But to discern what is the work we're called to do and stop doing other people's work. If you say you love something, you have to maintain it. It requires work. If we love the history and the legacy of our people and the ways in which we have thrived in this world, we've got to be willing to put our hands on the plow and continue the work that Fannie and everyone else did. Sometimes we don't have time to be tired. I'm sorry. We have to continue doing the work and find things that rejuvenate us as we seek to maintain the heritage, the legacy we've been given by our people. We've got to do the work. My podcast episode with Kara Page came out this week. And what was so beautiful in that conversation with her was her saying that she's tired, she's exhausted, all these other things that we're dealing with now in the world, this democracy. And so she said she tries to find something to bring her joy, to rejuvenate her. If it's a Palestinian poem, if it's a spiritual song, if it's something that pulls her to a place where she feels like she can continue doing the work that she's doing. And it started me thinking about how, for me, this rejuvenation, this idea of doing spiritual maintenance for freedom is creating a personal canon. Where I can say, okay, this month I'm reading Toni Morrison, and I'm going to discover the deliciousness of it. And I'm going to listen to the music of Abby Lincoln. And being so, for me, structured that I write it down, and over the course of a year, I have a personal canon that I can come back to. The only reason the gospel is so important for people, if you're a Christian, is because you should be reading it time and time, and it becomes a part of your system in your soul. There is good news in our work, in our art, in our music that we should be consuming every day. It is delicious. And it feeds us, and it gives us what we need to go on. Part of the struggle and the idea of spiritual maintenance, I posit to you, is creating something every day that we can eat, that rejuvenates our spirit so that we can maintain the energy to do this work which is so hard and so challenging. I close with this. One of the favorite albums I have is of Fannie Lou Hamer singing songs from Mother to Heart. And in that, there is a conversation she gives from a mass movement speech. And she talks about the weariness of getting up in the morning, going to the fields, trying to find ways for the family to have food, coming home, and then doing work, going to justice meetings and rallies. And you can't help hear that. You can't help look at that and not say, I've got to do my share of this work now. When I looked at what we listened to earlier and how Fannie Lou Hamer carried her speech when she was carried a purse. When she was coming, the little purse. If you see the speech when she came and made that speech, I said there was no one else to carry her bag, was there? No one else to carry her bag. I think she was the only one allowed, the black person into that Mississippi delegation to make that speech. She went by herself in this pack of people who didn't believe she had a place to be. But Johnson was so threatened by the power of what she was going to say that he preempted her speech with his announcement of a 9-month anniversary. Yes, we are tired. Yes, we are sick. Yes, there's a lot of weariness in the world today. But we who believe in freedom cannot rest. We have to find ways that rejuvenate us so that we can continue to keep our hands on the plow. And so it is.